In this edition of the Desert Vision, the recently sworn-in Secretary of Defense touches down in Kuwait to talk about efforts to defeat ISIL. And the folks at Camp Arifjan prepare for when the you-know-what hits the fan. I'm Army Staff Sergeant Frank Brown. Out of more than 100 soldiers who tried, only 2 earned the honor of wearing the Expert Field Medical Badge, or EFMB. For almost 2 weeks, soldiers converged at Camp Burin, Kuwait to compete. The events included land navigation and tactical combat casualty care. Major Tracy Dominguez, OIC of the course, says the EFMB is the Army Medical Department's standard of excellence, and an average of only 16% of those who compete earn it. So congratulations to Private First Class Nick Baum and Specialist Megan Almelia for becoming the newest recipients of the Expert Field Medical Badge. Afghan National Security Forces are getting some heavy metal to support their upcoming combat missions. Sergeant First Class David Wheeler shows us how.
Recently, the Army Field Support Battalion Afghanistan, 4th Resolute Support Sustainment Brigade, completed the first phase of a historic mission.
So today we're out here transferring the first batch of Max Pro Base MRAPs and the MRAP recovery vehicle to the ANA. This will provide them with a protected mobility force within their units at 4 of their corps that are engaged in the fight every day.
This mission began more than 8 months ago when a capabilities gap within the Afghan National Security Forces was identified.
So transfer of these MRAPs is actually going to provide the ANA with a very protected mobility capability within their forces to counter the enemy, to conduct missions in a safe manner, and to protect their soldiers.
This new equipment also comes with training.
So down in Kabul at the Combat Support Services School, the ANA are providing training to drivers as well as PMCS training on the MRAPs. When they go out in the field, the advisors that are at the TACs and the corps will continue to provide further training on the MRAP base.
During his first week on the job, Secretary of Defense Ashton Carter visited Camp Arifjan, Kuwait to discuss, among other things, the way forward in defeating ISIL.
The discussion indicated clearly to me that this group is hardly invincible. Our efforts to date have already been having some important impacts. Our global coalition is up to the task, and so is American leadership, which is shown throughout the course of this campaign.
Carter also held a forum for the troops where he took time to answer questions and say thanks.
What I said when I was confirmed by the Senate was the first thing I wanted to do was come here to this region to see you, to thank you, and to recognize you for the importance of what you're doing.
Coming up, personnel on Camp Arifjan do their best to prepare for the worst.
Through U.S. Arsen's Energy Awareness Campaign, the Army is looking into new ways of improving energy and fuel conservation. But don't take my word for it, just ask a Joe.
These shades will reduce solar exposure by 85%.
Which will decrease temperatures inside the structure by at least 15 degrees.
By utilizing this technology and keeping an eye on fuel consumption,
we can all help reduce fuel use and increase energy efficiency.
Yeah, it's been a long, rough day. One pinch, it's gonna make you feel so much better.
Are you crazy? That stuff has so many chemicals in it. What are you thinking?
Smokeless tobacco use has a detrimental impact on our overall health and wellness. Each year, 43,000 Americans are diagnosed with oral cancer. Oral cancer screenings at your annual dental exam help to aid in early detection. Say no to smokeless tobacco.
Accidents happen, regardless of if we're ready or not. Organizations from across Camp Arifjan combined for an exercise designed to keep these accidents from spiraling out of control.
So the scenario was a helicopter is running while a refuel truck comes up beside it, got too close, ran into the blades of the helicopter. The blades come apart as shrapnel and they went into the crowd, and everybody's mowed down.
We haven't had a call like this or a drill like this in over 10 years. We've had some that were a lot smaller, but none with the level of fire, hazmat, Moscow to this level.
We practice this just to see how we interface in between the various agencies and between the different units out here, and just to check our own procedures to make sure that our pre-accident plan is in place, to make sure that our battle drills are functional.
The challenge was tremendous. For manpower-wise, you don't have enough manpower on scene to handle something this big. You take the lives in account first, and you start handling the life, then your property. So you have to, your risk management, what you're doing. So yes, we were, in reality, we were well overtaxed. There was way too much going on to handle it. But you do what you can. You handle the small taskings, and just you chew the elephant up in little bites.
This was an exercise of the Camp Arifjan Emergency Management Plan, and it's also a part of our pre-accident plan here at the airfield. We have a few units out here that have a quarterly requirement to do this type of exercise, and the post, the installation, has a requirement to do the exercise annually. So this was a combined exercise of the pre-accident plan for our units and for the post.
You can find this and other stories on our Facebook page and on our website. Remember to like us. We like you. It's not creepy at all. That's your Desert Vision. I'm Army Sergeant Frank Brown. Thanks for watching.